Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. So, we're going to continue on with where we left off, and that is going to be in waiting for the traders that arrived at the end of last episode to show up, and then we can go ahead and start doing some trading. We just need to wait for them to get here.
Gases, my plans are foiled.
Looks like we had somebody trying to sneak into our fort. Where are you? Let's see. He was an incubus. And he's right near the river there, so looks like he'll be, he might actually do some damage to our poor little lumberjack there.
Yes, I'll do
Oh,
it.
everybody scattered.
No,
Perfect.
Master will be pleased if this one.
No.
Oh, did we actually lose somebody here? I think we may have actually had somebody get stolen here. Yeah, somebody made off with a dwarven baby. Alright, well, that's not going to make anybody happy. But I think we're still going to be okay. We just need to wait for the people to arrive here. I hope they will do soon. Where the heck are all the merchants?
No.
Yeah, they're making the way over. All right, and then after we do some trading, we are going to go ahead and continue on with the formation of our first military.
I can't do that.
We should also probably start thinking about getting a wall
Another
built around
baby?
here.
Well, at least it's not an explosion.
Oh, look, a
of
replacement baby for the one we lost. Perfect. Okay, so now that they're there, let's go ahead and open the door and start getting things set up as far as that's concerned. I don't remember actually which lever I set up here. I think it's this one. We'll find out.
I can't do that.
Is that one open the right door? I don't think so. No, I think that was the wrong door. Yeah, that was that door. Whoops. All right, let's go ahead and reverse that. And I'm just actually... Neat trick I learned between episodes is if you press... with D of hack, if you press Control, Shift, N on a lever or anything, really, you can give it a nickname. So, for instance, I'm going to name this one the main gate. And that way, I can see that this lever will activate the main gate. So I don't have to, trial and error it again. This is going to be the inner merchant gate. Or, sorry, this is the outer merchant gate. That's not what I want either. So we're going to give that a name as well. Outer merchant gate. And inner merchant gate. There we go. Now, this is the one we want to pull. There we go. So we'll wait for that to happen, and then we can start transferring things to the stockpiles. And hopefully trade for some iron, because unfortunately we don't have any on this map, and we kind of need some. Alright, so it looks like we have to do the discussion first, which is fine. Pardon me, my timer stopped here for some reason. There we go. All right, fixed up. All right, so let's go ahead. We want to get some more scale in. We want to order some more iron bars. We want to order some iron anvils. We also want to order, if we go down all the way down to the miscellaneous section, there should be crates of iron. So we want those. We want crates of steel. Damn it, I pressed the wrong button. Crates of steel. And crates of... I think just iron and steel is all we really want. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick with that. Alright. Now let's get some goods moved over here, right? So we want to move over the weapon bins. So let's make sure we get them all. Okay, we only have the one weapon bin. Any armor bins we have, we want to move those over as well. We want mechanisms, because that's still a primary source of income for us. Let's go ahead and do this. Another neat little trick, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video or not. If you're selecting items in a list, pressing and holding shift while hitting enter will select the item and then move you automatically down to the next one. So you don't have to, enter down, enter down, enter down. It's just shift, enter, 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 enter. And it's much quicker. All right. So that'll be good enough for now, and we will wait for that all to get moved over there. Really need to improve my stockpile situation, but that'll have to come later. Now, one thing I kind of wanted to say is eventually you should be going a lot faster, getting everything that I've basically done, but getting it up a lot quicker than what you've seen on these videos. It's just taking me longer to go through it as I'm, explaining it as I go and everything else. So, alrighty. where were we? Oh, we're saving. That's where we were. Oh, shoot. I also need to get a trader moving over to the trade depot. I suppose that would be a good idea. As soon as the save is done. They can be annoying, but they're also extraordinarily helpful, especially if you're still learning and not above save scumming your fort a little bit. Anywho's, trader requested. Let's get him over there. He's currently drinking, so that could take him a little bit. Okay, I'm alright with that. Speaking in on the conversation. Okay, looks like we can actually do some trading. Perfect. So, how much do we have to actually trade away in total? We have an armor bin worth 1807. And just make sure that's all copper stuff in there. Yep. We have the weapon bin worth 8,260. Except we do not want to sell some of the items in here. So actually we're going to have to go through and do this all by hand. So copper battle axes. Not the repeating wooden crossbow, because that we need for our military. Nor the wooden crossbow. Nor the wooden training axe. More crossbow. Or no, we don't want to trade the crossbows. Copper battle axe, wooden crossbow, battle axes. Titanium crossbow. Nope, we don't want to get rid of any of those. But we do have some javelin throwers. Those are actually really nice. I've been experimenting with those lately. Alright. And then just a whole bunch of mechanisms. Let's find out how much money we actually have to work with here. So we have about 11,000 dwarf bucks to work with. If I open up the calculator. And so 11298 divided by 1.45 we'll say. So we can buy about 7,000 or so dwarf bucks worth of iron and steel. So let's get some steel. We can straight up buy some pig iron, so that's not a horrible idea. Creative iron bars. Iron bar, creative iron bars. So we'll stick with the iron because we can transform that into steel pretty easy. More iron bars. More iron bars. Alright, we're up to about 8,000 already. So, that might be, unless we can see something else in here, that might be about all we try to get from them. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see, anything else in here that's super interesting? Doesn't really look like it. I don't think they brought us very much leather this time around. Oh, wait, no, hold on. There's the scale that I asked for. Okay, so we're going to probably pick up at least a couple of these just so we can start getting our armor underway. Though, not too many, I'm afraid. We're not quite that rich yet. Alright. I think that'll be about good. Let's see if he'll accept that. Probably not. Nope. He will accept that, so I'm kind of wondering if maybe I screwed myself a little bit there. Oh well. Whatever. So we have our iron, so we can actually start producing some steel, which we will, like, converting the iron into steel, which we can then convert into decent weapons. Pardon me. So, alright. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. So do we have a stockpile for steel yet? I don't think so. Okay, that's all fuel. That's all copper. So let's go ahead and set up a stockpile for our steel processing. Let's see here. We want, where is bars and blocks? There it is. Forbid, 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 forbid. We want, actually we want to forbid the metal too, and we just want iron on this stockpile. Now you want to keep most, at least for me anyway, you want to keep most of the iron, of the metal as iron. Because to make steel, you first have to convert iron into pig iron, which takes 1 bar of iron and 1 bar of fluxstone. So marble, dolomite, dolomite? I can't remember. I don't think dolomite actually. But either way, you need a bar of fluxstone. After that, you need to convert the pig iron into steel. And to do that, you need another bar of iron, another fluxstone, and fuel. So it's a rather expensive process, and you don't want to have converted all of your iron into pig iron and therefore be unable to create steel out of it. Because pig iron's, I mean, it's not horrible, but I mean, it's also not steel. So let's go ahead. So that's our iron bar, our iron stockpile. Oops, not forbid. We want now just one stockpile for pig iron, so that we can hold kind of the intermediate product. And we want one more stockpile, specifically for steel, which is there. Oops. Alrighty. And we'll do 2 bars of steel. And then we're also going to want to store some flux stones down here. So, disable that. We go to stone, block all, and allow economic, bone meal, calcite, dolomite, limestone, marble, shellstone. Those are our flux stones. Those are going to go right there. Looks like we might actually have to increase the storage size of our metal stockpile a little bit here, but that's okay. Now, there's actually one other thing I want to do. I think I purchased enough steel that I can get crucibles underway. So, in one of the advantages that dwarves have over, say, other races in Masterwork is they get access to the crucible, which is a really efficient way of making, well, a lot of things, but mostly steel. Needs 2 fire-safe building materials and 3 steel bars. Did I not pick up 3 steel bars, or did I only pick up the 1? May have only picked up the 1, so we might have to do it in a regular furnace to start with. We'll wait for the dwarves to get those all moved down for us. In the meantime, how goes adding the mechanisms to the crossbows?
I can't do it.
Oh, was I not doing it this way? No, that's right. I was doing it through the workflow. That's right. Let's see. We have 2 of them currently. Let's go ahead and unsuspend that, see if we can't get that moved along a little bit. Oh, I know why. It's because the weapon bin is at the trading depot, isn't it? So we can go ahead and remove the trader and give me back my weapon bin. That way we can get that on the go again. So sorry, I'm kind of dealing with 2 things at the same time here, but if we don't kind of get some defenses underway soon, it could be bad for us. So I'm kind of fighting to get ahead of the game a little bit here. Who died? Starved to death. Oh, yes. This is a fairly common mistake for me. And that is migrants will show up with new animals that need to be pastured, and I just kind of forget about them. So Shift P to remove all the currently pastured, Shift G to remove all the grazing. Okay, it looks like all the animals that needed to be pastured are either already pastured or dead. So I guess that works out. So we really should start thinking about getting a bit of a palisade built around here so that we can defend ourselves should we come under attack. And again, we also don't really have all that much on the surface. I mean, yeah, it would kind of suck to lose our animals, but I don't know. Okay, let's not keep bouncing around. Let's stay focused. That way I don't confuse you guys. All right, merchants are going to leave soon. That's okay. Actually, let's go ahead and pull the outer merchant gate lever. Or the inner merchant gate lever, I should say. That way we don't have any nasties sneaking into the fort on us. Make sure that popped up the right gate. Yep, perfect. That'll keep any nastiness out of our fort. So I want to make sure that we're not storing metal bars here. It doesn't look like it. Forbid metal. Just to make sure. And it looks like it's all going down here anyway. Oh, right. I remember now. I bought boxes of bars, right? I can't just open those. You need a special building to open those. So let's go ahead and build that building. So we just need some space up here. Actually, you know what? We can probably... what the hell? We'll put it in with our trade depot. So we need another 5x5 area. And we're going to go ahead and pull this lever down here so we can open that back up again. There we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead, dig that out, and then we will build the trade storehouse, I believe is what it's called, which will allow us to actually open those boxes that we bought. So build workshop. And where is what I'm looking for here? Trade storehouse, there it is. We can go right here, out of shale blocks. should allow us to get a lot more iron than what we have.
No.
Okay, it looks like they're still forging the copper stuff, which is good. We want them to train up their skills on the copper. Because for us, iron is rather expensive, and we do not want to waste it on people who don't know what they're doing. So let's see how they're doing with their training. We got a level 7 weaponsmith here, though you're not actually part of the Smith's Guild, I just noticed. That's probably something I should fix. And a level 8 Smith's Guild armor, at least. But I don't have any gold, so taking care of all that is actually a little bit of a pain. At least I don't think I have any gold. Have I struck gold on this map? I don't honestly remember.
I can't do that there.
It doesn't look like it. Though that doesn't mean it's not here. It very well could be a little bit deeper. Okay, there we go. Now we see here the trade storehouse. It will automatically get queued up with jobs when you have crates. So see the job here is opening the crate of iron bars. And the crate contains, 10 iron bars or, 5. I think the elves have a crate of 5 great bows, or it'll tell you how many is in it. And
There's a new baby.
it's actually a fairly efficient way to purchase components.
Another baby. Well,
Where's my
at least it's
metalworking
not
shop?
an
Yeah, there we go. That's the
explosion of
type of iron I
baby.
was expecting to see.
Quick, get him a bottle of ale.
We have a couple pieces of pig iron. So we're going to go ahead and get the smelters, turning that pig iron into steel, just so that we can build our crucible.
Another baby. Well,
And
at least it's
smelting,
not an explosion
doing
of
the steel
gas.
reaction, it works this exact same way as the other reactions. There's just more steps to going from iron to
Ugh,
steel.
I won't do it.
You need some steel to build the crucible, but I would strongly suggest your first 3
No, I
bars
can't do
go
it.
into producing a crucible, because it's just very, very helpful to have for making steel, essentially. Because, 1, it gives you the 2 steel bars you would normally get for the reagents you spend, but it also gives you a chance to get an extra bar, which in our situation, where iron is not actually on our map, could be very handy. Or at least we haven't seen any iron on our map yet. It's entirely possible there's some buried deep in the bowels of the earth, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Was the steel job canceled? Why? Search steel. Nope. Did we just not make it, or what's going on here? Copper. I can't remember which one I actually told them to make it at. I'm confused. Where'd my steel go? My pig iron is still here. Oh, you know what? I bet you I told it to make pig iron rather than to make steel. Yeah, that's what I did. I'm an idiot. All right. That's okay, though. Make steel bars from pig iron this time.
Another
That'll
baby.
work a little better.
Well, at least it's not an explosion of cats.
Anyways, as I was saying, let's what's this at now? We have 4 of those crossbows. So I think it's time that we focus on our range military a little bit here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our range military has a place to train. So where do we want to do our military training? Well, I guess that kind of just depends on what type of fort we want to do. If we want to do a fort where we actually take control of the above ground, then we want to, go ahead and build that wall like I've been talking about earlier this episode, and then build a training area up here. Or you can go the other route and completely abandon the surface. Both are, perfectly, viable. Pardon me. Both are perfectly viable, and it really just depends on how you want to play. Since I've more or less been playing like I plan to, keep the surface, which I more or less do, we're going to go ahead and actually get that wall being built. In the meantime, we're going to decide kind of where the wall is going to be. Now, we want to be able to ensure that we have fairly good control over, most things. Now, we don't really need to wall this portion in up here, the entrance to our merchant's gates, since that's fairly well protected. Well, I mean, right now the gates are wide open, but normally that's fairly well protected by the drawbridges anyway. And we can block anything from getting into our fort from over there, without too much trouble. So I think I will do, we want to get a little bit of this stream in here because it's really handy to have a flowing water source in your base. I'm going to build a wall, press B to enter the bounding box mode, which basically means I don't have to do segments of walls. I can just, it's a DF hack option. It lets you just, click and drag, or click and then drag out your wall to as long as you want it to be without having to do it. Because I think default, like in the base game, the longest you can make any one wall segment is 10 blocks. So if you want to make 20 block wall segment, you have to do it twice. With this, you can just do it in one click. I'm sure I just over-explained that, but apologies. So we're going to go ahead to here. From there, we want to make sure we get all of our animals in there to there. We want to make it out of blocks. Not bars, shell block. Is that all the blocks we have? Maybe I won't be doing this. Or have I been making them out of something else? We do not seem to have a whole ton of blocks, so maybe I actually need to get mining some stone. Oh no, we have. That's. Where are our blocks? Oh, I never bumped that up. That's a mistake on my part. That should be a lot higher than what it is. Let's go ahead and put that from 20 to. Actually, no, I want to make sure that we have plenty available at all times. So let's bump that up to 40. So when we hit 40, we want to make up to 200 stone blocks. So that we'll get them go ahead and working on that. We're actually going to build another. All right, if I could stop fat fingering the wrong keys, that would be great. Build, workshop, masons, workshop. That can go right here. And we'll just build that out of shale since it's nice and close. All right. So that will be our second mason's workshop that we can get helping to build the rock blocks. All right, since we don't have the rock blocks to do the construction, which is a mistake on my part. You definitely want more rock blocks than what I was saying there. So apologies on that one. We will instead focus on... Oh, great, it's raining. We will instead focus on building a training area for them regardless. Without blocks, that's a little bit more difficult. You know what? I'll just wait for them to produce those blocks. In the meantime, sorry for jumping around a little bit here. It's I'm still trying to kind of figure things out again here. Anyway, build E, and we want the crucible. We're going to switch back to getting our melee and metalworking industry set up. So we're going to go ahead, place it there. We need 2 shale blocks, 3 steel bars, and they will go ahead and build that. It used to be that you needed a like some research for this, which is a topic we will get to in a later episode. But now, thankfully, we don't need that anymore. All right, we're going to build blocks, set that on repeat, and we should have a couple of dwarves happily working away and making blocks for our construction purposes. Hopefully we have somebody come down here soon to take care of the crucible so I can get that into the episode before we have to call it a day. Alright, crucible is made. So, all we really need to do is make steel bars efficiently. That'll create 3 steel bars from, I forget what the exact reaction is, but you can also use the crucible for a lot of other things. For instance, when goblins attack you, they're going to drop rusted steel and rusted iron weapons. You can use the crucible to remove the rust from them to make them just regular iron, regular steel. You can make titanium, you can make cobalt and chrome and bronze more efficiently than you can, using other methods. It's a fairly handy tool to have. It's definitely one of my favorites in that the dwarves get access to. So let's go ahead and make steel bars. Set that on repeat. Gonna add a range, bars of steel, and we want to make anywhere from 20. Actually, no. Let me see. 15 to 40 bars of steel. That should be plenty. They're gonna drag. So we have an iron bar here. I just want to actually watch this to see what's involved in the reaction. A pig iron bar. A flux stone. Yep. Keep going. And a piece of something to use as a as carbon to make the steel.
No.
And 2 pieces to make carbon, I guess. Oh, wait, no. One piece is to power the furnace. The other one is to actually turn it into the steel. Right, that makes sense. All right, so that's really all it takes. You need iron, pig iron, flux, and 2 pieces of fuel to make 3 steel bars. It's fairly handy. Now we're going to go ahead and add making pig iron to all of these furnaces so that we can make sure that the crucible has everything it needs to do its job. And we're going to control W on that one, add bars of pig iron, and we want to keep anywhere from 5 to... Actually, you know what? The default 5 to 10 is actually a decent range for pig iron, I think. So we're going to do that there. We're going to pig iron from here as well. And we're just going to, oopsies, add this to all of our different furnaces. So that we can keep our steel industry going. And hopefully we will be able to start making some powerful weapons and armor here shortly. Because steel is really, until you get into like some of the super metals, which we may or may not touch on in this fort. I don't honestly know if this fort has the ability to survive that long, truth be told. And that's mostly just because of the time it's taken us to get to where we are. But either way, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. We're going to burn through that iron that we got fairly quick, though.
Another mouth to feed.
Alright, how are we doing on rock blocks now? Build, construction, wall. Let's see here. Again, I want to kind of go... Actually, how big... Actually, let's see here. I can probably change the size of that field, because how big is that feeding zone? Yeah, it's about that big. We could probably just move that up, essentially. So if we build kind of along the bottom here, build construction wall, say out to here, to here. How many bars do we have? Oh, why am I not seeing them? Ash ale. Do we not have any bars then? We must not. All right, that's slightly disappointing. All right, you know what? That will have to wait until the next episode, I think. We're going to just have to give our masons time to make us some, some blocks that we can actually use. Looks like they're working hard on it. Oh, wait, we have tons of bars here. Or blocks, I guess say. We have 28. All right, that's not tons. That's very little. Okay, so we'll let that happily chug along. Unfortunately, a bit of a delay in getting to our military again. But you know what? Let's go ahead and set up our military. We'll get to the training of the military in the next episode. So let's set up our military first. The first thing we need to do is determine who is going to be in our military. Now we want to start with, pardon me, a bit of a frog in my throat there. We want to start with somebody who's incredibly good at their job as kind of our military leader. And a marksman dwarf leading the range squad seems like a pretty good idea. I don't think we have any squads set up yet. Nope. All right. So to set up a squad is pretty easy. Press M. Press C to create a squad. We're going to go no uniform for now. We'll cover uniforms once we actually have a bit of gear available to us. Actually, you know what? We're going to make a basic uniform because I just thought of a problem if we don't. So we're going to make a basic uniform. So we go, press N. Okay, so I'm going to back all the way out, and we'll start this again. Press M to open your military screen. Press N to open uniforms. Press C to add a uniform. Shift N to name it. We're just going to call this Marks Dwarves. And then you can go through and add all sorts of different... Where is my cursor? There. Okay, back on the Marks Dwarves. There we go. Okay, so you can go through and add all sorts of different equipment. Right now, we are just going to add a weapon. So we're going to press Shift-W, go over to this list here, and you can go individual choice ranged if you want, but I would suggest, especially for range squads, to assign them a specific type of weapon, because you don't want a range squad that picks up bolts to have somebody in it with a javelin thrower, because he won't have any ammo. It's pretty useless. So let's go ahead and find repeating crossbows. Now, they're technically a foreign weapon. So you need to go down to the foreign, and it's a few pages down after the superior and legendary stuff. Repeating crossbow. There we go. So that's what we're going to tell them to use. And if you want, I could even specify that it's going to be a wooden repeating crossbow. But if you leave that blank, they'll pick up any type of repeating crossbow, which is obviously more akin to what we want. So that's all we're going to do with uniforms for now. We'll go into those more a little later. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to find that really good Marks dwarf and put her into our military. So that's going to be Zas, red, whatever. Zas will probably not be enough. Yep, there she is. So she's our military leader. Now that we've done the first step of that, it's actually easier if we read Dwarves and Dwarf Therapist again. We're going to sort by squad. Now we can see that we have the Bulbous Pots, which is our military squad, being led by Zas Regfigadam. Now what we want to do is basically go down this list and pick out the people who we want to join her on that squad. And since we have like 60 dwarves, we can go ahead and just make a full-blown squad. And essentially, I'm just sorting by range because this is going to be a ranged squad, and I want them to be, decent ranged fighters. And what I do is I just go through and I find all my slaves. So I'll skip over the people that have another profession set, because slaves are people that I have nothing better to do with, right? So they might as well be in the military. Then all you do in Dwarf Therapist is you right-click on their name, assign to squad, Bulbous Pots, and you'll see they'll hop up there. And then I just go down the list. Assign to squad, Bulbous Pots. Assign to squad, into the pots. You can go as well as you. We're going down to like the 66 area now, which is not great. But then again, they don't have to be amazing to be ranged dwarfs. Being good at fighting is more important, more so for melee dwarves. Now, I mean, it's good to have people who are good at range because that means they can hit their target. But, all right. On this one, we're not going to be picky because we want to make sure that we have lots of dwarves ready to go. So now that they're in the military, we're going to go ahead and select them all, reset them to their default profession, and clear all their labors. Because the only thing we want these guys doing is training to defend our fort. Their job is basically now full-time military. However, for ranged squads and melee squads are very different in the way that they are handled as far as setting up their schedule and whatnot. Which is something we will cover more when we actually cover the melee squads. One last thing we want to do. Ammunition. The Bulbous Pots have no ammunition assigned, which basically means they're not going to carry any ammo for the crossbows. So we want to make sure that they have ammunition. And I forget what type of ammunition I was actually making for them. Where is my... am I not actually making any ammunition for them? Alright, that could be a problem. Well, we'll have to cover the making of ammunition in a later episode, because this one's already starting to go a little long. So, thank you very much for joining me in this rather hectic back and forth between two different things episode. Sometimes things are going to be like that, and there's, unfortunately, not much I can do about it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will answer every single one that I get to the very best of my ability. And thank you very much for watching. So long.